You open your eyes. The air is thick and damp and foul. Something has died beneath the floor. Welcome to London. The year is 1348. You are not going to enjoy your stay here. The room is dark and cold. Oiled cloth over the window lets in a gray sliver of morning light. Beneath you is a straw mattress unchanged for months. Things are moving inside it right now. Fleas, lice, bed bugs. They have been feeding on you all night. Your skin itches in a dozen places. Oh, and this is not poverty. This is completely normal. Even the King of England sleeps with insects in his sheets. Every scene has been carefully reconstructed using AI. Every street and building brought back from the distant past. Your morning begins not with water, but with a piece of rough linen in a cold metal basin. You dip the cloth and wipe your face, then your hands. That is all the washing you will get today. Hot water is considered dangerous here. Doctors firmly believe that heat opens the pores of your skin. Open pores let in the miasma, the poisoned air that supposedly carries plague and sickness into your body. A layer of filth on your skin is not a source of shame. It is armor against the deadly air. The rich change their linen shirt 3 times a day. The fresh fabric absorbs sweat and filth instead of water. Clean linen means a clean body. That is the accepted medical science of this age. No water required. White linen at your collar is a powerful status symbol. It proves to the world you can afford to be clean. Now your teeth. No toothbrush exists anywhere. You reach for cloth dipped in crushed salt and ground bone. You scrub your teeth until your gums bleed. The taste is chalk and iron. This is medieval dental care. If a tooth rots, a barber surgeon pulls it out with iron pliers. There is no pain relief at all. If stories like this fascinate you, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps more people discover this history. Now step outside into the street. Nothing in your modern life has prepared you for what hits your nose. The smell strikes you like a physical blow to the face. Your eyes water, your stomach turns, you gag. Every street in the city is an open sewer. Human waste runs in gutters alongside your feet as you walk. Chamber pots are emptied from upper windows with a shouted warning from above. Look up or get drenched. The streets are layered with rotting straw and animal dung, and kitchen scraps thrown from every doorway. Pigs roam freely through the streets eating garbage. They are London's only sanitation service, and they are losing. Dogs, rats, and ravens fight over whatever remains. A dead cat lies in the gutter. Nobody bothers to move it. Butchers on Eastcheap dump buckets of blood and offal into the Thames. The river runs red at low tide. Tanners collect whole barrels of human urine from the public latrines. They use it to soften and cure animal hides. The tanning district smells so horrific that the law banishes it to the farthest edges of the city. But the smell still carries on the wind. On hot summer days, the entire city breathes it in together. Walk along the Thames and watch. People drink from the same river that carries all the waste downstream. There is no clean water anywhere in London. The wells are contaminated by cesspits dug just feet beside them. So people drink ale instead, even for breakfast. Even the monks who brew it in the monasteries drink all day. The brewing process kills the bacteria in the water. Nobody understands why it works. It just keeps people alive. A weak ale called small beer is given to everyone, including children. Safer than any water you could find. Now imagine you need a toilet. There are options, but none of them involve privacy or comfort at all. If you are lucky, you own a chamber pot, a ceramic bowl kept under the bed, emptied each morning into the street. In a castle, the toilet is called a garderobe, a stone seat hanging over the open air far below. Your waste falls straight into the moat or a deep pit below. Gravity is the only plumbing here. The stench rising from below is so powerful that noblemen hang their finest robes inside the chamber. The ammonia fumes rising from the pit kill the fleas and moths eating through their expensive clothing. The toilet fumigates. For common people, there are public latrines, long wooden benches with holes cut in a row, shoulder to shoulder with strangers. London Bridge has a public latrine that empties directly into the Thames. Dozens of people use it every single day. When you are finished, there is no paper anywhere. Toilet paper will not be invented for another 500 years. You reach for whatever is close at hand: moss, straw, leaves, or a handful of hay. Comfort is irrelevant. The wealthy use soft wool or linen scraps instead. The Romans once had sponges on sticks. That knowledge is long gone. Your hands are never truly clean afterward. There is no soap as you know it, no running water at all. This is exactly why disease spreads so fast. Every handshake, every shared cup carries something invisible with it. Walk deeper into the heart of the city. Yes, past crowded market stalls selling bread and salted fish and dried meat. The bread contains tiny fragments of groundstone from the mill wheel. It wears your teeth to stumps over a lifetime. Meat is preserved with enormous amounts of salt. Fresh meat without salt spoils within hours in the summer heat. Spices are weapons against rot, not luxury seasonings. Pepper and cloves mask the unmistakable taste of decay. If you can smell the meat it is already turning, you eat it anyway. There is simply nothing else. Food is cooked over open fire in heavy iron pots that are rarely washed. The old grease never leaves them. At a tavern, you share a single wooden cup with the person beside you. One vessel passed between everyone. Plates do not exist for common people. Trenchers instead. Thick slices of stale bread. Eat your meal, then eat the plate. After the meal, you wipe your greasy hands on your clothes. There are no napkins. Your tunic is your towel. If this makes you grateful for your own kitchen, hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow. Now let us talk about what lives inside your body. In this age, you are never truly alone. Almost every person you pass on the street carries intestinal parasites. Worms living inside the gut feeding on your food. Roundworms, tapeworms. They enter through contaminated water and unwashed hands. Once inside, they never really leave you. A silent, invisible tax on the body, and stealing calories from people already living on the edge of starvation. A peasant works 16 brutal hours in the fields. A full third of his calories feeds the worms inside him. There is no cure, there is no diagnosis. Nobody even knows the worms exist inside them most of the time. Now it is evening at last. The sun sets slowly over London. You return to your dark, crowded lodgings. You share your bed with at least one other person. The concept of privacy and sleep does not exist here. Or a whole family sleeps together in one bed. Servants on the floor, travelers share beds with complete strangers. The straw mattress beneath you is alive with crawling insects. A rough wool blanket covers you. It reeks of smoke. No glass in the windows anywhere. Cold night air pours through wooden shutters. The only heat comes from a central hearth. Smoke fills the entire room because there is no chimney. Your eyes burn constantly. Your lungs ache every night. By morning, a thin layer of soot covers everything. Your skin, your blanket, the bread left sitting on the table. This is the daily cycle of medieval life. Wake, scratch bites, wipe your face, walk through filth, eat, sleep, repeat. But this particular year is different. Something new and terrible has arrived in England. Nobody understands it yet. Ships from the continent brought rats in their cargo holds. The rats brought fleas. The fleas carry something invisible and deadly. The Black Death reaches England in the summer of 1348. It spreads across the land like wildfire. Within weeks, the plague reaches London. Within months, it will kill half the entire population of the country. The first sign is a swelling. Hard, painful lumps appear in the groin and armpits. They turn black. Then comes the fever. The body rots from the inside. The smell of a plague victim is absolutely unforgettable. Doctors believe bad air is what causes it. Oh, they carry bouquets of strong herbs pressed hard against their noses. They wear long beaked masks stuffed with lavender and spices. It does absolutely nothing. The doctors die too. The barber surgeon is the closest thing to a doctor most people ever see. He cuts hair and drains wounds. His tools are knives, bone saws, and heated irons. Surgery happens without any anesthesia on a bare wooden table. Bloodletting is the most common treatment prescribed for everything. Draining blood supposedly restores the body's natural balance. Leeches are pressed firmly against the skin, or a vein is opened with a blade. Patients often faint from it. For the plague, the treatments grow desperate. Swollen boils are lanced and drained. Vinegar poured over open wounds. Some doctors prescribe liquid mercury or crushed emeralds. The cure kills just as surely as the disease itself does. The church proclaims plague as God's punishment for sin. Flagellants march through streets whipping their own bleeding backs. Processions carry sacred relics through London, bones of saints pressed against the sick and dying. Nothing works at all. Graveyards overflow within just a few weeks. Mass burial pits are dug outside the city walls, bodies stacked in layers. Wooden carts come each morning to collect the dead. Drivers call for people to bring out their corpses. Entire families vanish in a matter of days. Houses stand empty with doors open. So nobody dares enter to claim a thing. The social order begins to collapse. Not enough priests remain for last rites. Not enough laborers for the harvest. Not enough grave diggers for all the dead. London is overwhelmed. The living simply cannot keep up with the dying. The Thames carries bodies slowly downstream. The living step carefully over the dead to reach the market each morning. When plague finally passes in 1349, half of London is gone forever. Entire streets stand silent and empty. But those who survive are not weak. Do not mistake their filth for fragility. These survivors are truly extraordinary. Their immune systems are forged by constant exposure to bacteria that would hospitalize any modern person alive today. They know which herbs fight infection and heal wounds. Garlic, thyme, and honey are used as natural medicines. Vinegar cleans surfaces and hands. Alcohol is poured directly over cuts. Nobody knows why it works, but it does. Midwives carry centuries of practical knowledge passed carefully from mother to daughter. They deliver babies and set bones. Monks in monasteries preserve irreplaceable medical texts from the ancient world. Greek and Roman knowledge survives inside those walls. Soap does exist, but it is extremely rare. Made from animal fat and wood ash. A luxury very few can afford. Public bathhouses exist in some cities across Europe. Places of washing, but also of socializing and eating and drinking. The church views these bathhouses with deep suspicion. Too much nudity, too much mixing, too much pleasure. After the plague, many bathhouses closed their doors permanently. The fear of water and open pores wins completely. It will take centuries before Europe trusts water again. The Renaissance will still smell very nearly as bad. Do not judge these people by what they lacked. Judge them by what they managed to build with nothing. They raised stone cathedrals that still stand 700 years later, with bare hands and simple iron tools. They created legal systems and vast trade networks. They wrote poetry and painted manuscripts in shimmering gold leaf. They fed families on scraps and survived winters that would defeat anyone alive today without modern technology. Every single morning they woke in a world trying to kill them. And every morning they stood up again. They had no antibiotics and no clean water. Nothing at all that we take for granted every single day. What they had was endurance. A stubborn will to keep working and surviving that the modern world has forgotten. When we look back at the people of medieval London, we should not feel disgust. We should feel humbled. The history of their hygiene is not a story about laziness. It is a story about survival against biology itself. Every bar of soap, every flush toilet, every pill you swallow exists because they endured centuries without any of it. They are the reason we are here today. Their suffering is the foundation our comfortable world stands on. Next time you step into a hot shower, take a moment to remember that act was once considered a death sentence. In 1348, clean water killed you, dirt saved your life, and a single flea ended everything. The people of medieval London did not choose this brutal world. They survived it. That deserves our deepest respect. If this opened your eyes to the past, there are more stories here. Subscribe and we will keep going back.